Welcome to the Cozen Saws Technical Training Program, a collection of continued education videos and resources designed to help better inform end users on how to properly maintain, repair, and keep their saw running at top efficiency. In this video, we will go over steps on how to adjust your Cozen bandsaw's Vise differential valve sensor. In some instances, one or more of your saw's vices may indicate they are not fully clamped. While this may be the case, the most common issue is that the valve sensor is out of alignment and must be adjusted. The reasons for this may vary. However, the issue is easy to fix. Please note that sawing operations cannot proceed until a fully clamped vise is registered by the saw's PLC. You can easily know if the saw's vices are not fully clamped by looking at the saw's HMI touchscreen. On the home screen, under the control buttons are several icons. These indicator lights show you the position of various parts of the saw. The second and third columns of icons are the vise open and close indicators. When the icons in the second column are green, the saw's vices are open or still loose. Only when the third column of indicator lights turn white will you know the vices are registered as fully clamped. To test for full vise clamping, use the push-button controls under the HMI screen. If the vise closes fully and the indicator light in the third column turns white, you have enough pressure and your vices are clamped properly. If your vices appear to be closed, but the second column of indicator lights remains green, the valve sensor is not sensing enough pressure to close the vise properly and needs to be adjusted. Pressure differential valves are usually located in the panel under the roller table on idle wheel side of the saw. This is the side opposite of the blade drive motor. Depending on the model, the valves may be in a base panel directly underneath the idle wheel. If for some reason the pressure valves cannot be found, please call Cozen North America's service department with your saw model and serial number. They can assist you in locating the valves. Once you have located the valves, find and check the proximity sensor. A light on the proximity sensor will indicate the vices that are fully closed and working correctly. If there is no light, adjustments can be made. Before proceeding, check the wiring connections to the sensors. Loose wires can sometimes be the cause of the problem, and no adjustments are actually needed. To make the adjustments, you will need a second person helping. Have your partner hold down the clamp button of the vise being adjusted. They must hold the button until the adjustment is fully completed. With the clamp button being depressed, hold the proximity sensor still with your hand and loosen the locking nut or nuts. Gently screw in the sensor by hand until it lights up. Once it lights up, hold the sensor in position and tighten lock nut. If the sensor is screwed into its max internal position and no indicator light comes on, the sensor is bad and will need to be replaced. To replace a bad sensor, follow the wire on the sensor to its connection point. Cutting any cable ties holding the wires together, disconnect the wires, making sure they are appropriately labeled. This will help ensure you reconnect correctly when installing the new sensor. Take the labeled wires from the old sensor and connect the terminal end to the new sensor. To test the wire connection, take the sensor and place it up to any metal surface on the saw. Press the vise clamp button. If the vise clamps and the proximity sensor lights up, the wires are attached correctly. Gently screw in the sensor until you feel it bottom out. Unscrew the sensor half-turn or 180 degrees and secure using the lock nut. Connect the wires back to their appropriate connections. This should cause the light on sensor to light up, meaning you have successfully replaced the sensor. Once you have completed your adjustments or repairs, use the clamp control buttons to open and close the vise, making sure it works correctly. Cross-check, making sure that when the vices are closed and the indicator icons on HMI are white, that the proximity sensor lights are on. If these checks are good and correct, you have successfully adjusted or replaced the pressure valve sensors, and your saw is ready to resume cutting operations. Always remember, if you need further assistance with repairs and/or parts, Cozen's parts and service departments are ready to assist you with orders and over-the-phone troubleshooting.